truckless bundle grade right there. Welcome back, everybody. Appreciate you being here. And as you can see, I'm in the truck and I am super excited. I have found a new honey hole for firewood, and it is mostly oak, white oak. It's about 3.5 miles from my house, so I went and investigated it a little bit yesterday. Thought I would run back over there this morning. We currently have 24 degrees here and the ground has stiffened back up. So, and as you can see, I do not have the dump trailer in tow. I'm just gonna make a run over here. There's a couple trees. Ooh, sorry about that sun. That is in some open areas that I can get the pickup right to. I'm gonna do it old school this morning. Thought I'd bring you guys along. We're gonna cut a couple trees up and get a truckload and see how it goes. This property I was turned on to by my neighbor. The guy that lets me store all the firewood in my second wood yard has been awesome, and he told me if you want more wood, we had another one of our properties, which is, as the crow flies, only about a mile from my house, but on the road system here, it's about 3.5 miles. But anyway, they had this property selectively logged 2 years ago. So there is a massive, enormous amount of oak treetops over here on the ground. And when these big oaks fall, they don't normally hit the ground all the way. Their limb system is big enough. It's got them all pretty well suspended up off the ground. So the wood has not come in contact with the ground. So I'm excited. We're gonna get started on it today and see what we're up against. And then I'll bring you along for a little short video here today, and then look forward to some more gathering. I am very much in need of some oak, and this being 2 years old is going to be a little bit of a semi-seasoned oak. I believe the bark will all fall off of it when I start splitting it, but here I go yapping again. As you can tell, I'm excited. I have been really struggling with sourcing wood this year, and things are starting to turn around. So I'll bring you back when we get there. We'll do a little look at what we got sitting there, and then we'll get some cutting done. All right, so this is a second property that the farmer, my neighbor that lives behind me, is gonna let me cut on, and this here is probably gonna be the biggest firewood score that I've came in contact with since the last property he bought, and he let me clear all the trees just across from my house. And as you can see, it's pretty frosty, ground's good and stiff, so we're going to be able to drive back along that tree line that you see in front of us here and get one of the trees that's right out in the open bucked up and in the truck. And then we'll come back up here toward the barns, and there's another tree over here that we can get out just in case the sun makes it get sloppy on top. So all right, so this is going to be the first one I'm going to start on here. Now, this wasn't a logged tree. It just broke off back there due to probably root rot or whatever. But it's laying right in this opening. But this is a very nice oak tree. And you can see the bark's peeling off of it. Perfect to get cut up and get out of the way. And then all the way around these openings, you can see another top over there, all down through there, and even behind me. Let me spin the camera around and show you, but there's treetops all over down through here, just kind of spread out. So we're gonna get started on this one and get it out of the way. I'll just kind of walk down here real quick before I get started. The sun's gonna be at a bad angle, but this is a beautiful property. I would give anything to have a property like this. It's back in the middle of a field. I think it's around 200 acres. And there's this lake out in the middle of the woods. And then it's got agricultural farms that he owns all the way on the other side. But as you can see, some of these tree stumps, they didn't clear cut the place, which is a good thing. But here's a stump here behind me. There's another one down there over the hill. A couple more right here. Most of the logging was done right around the lake. And I'll get past you here, past the sun glare coming off that water. Some more right here that I can drive right up to. White oak right here. And then if I can get this sun to cooperate, there's red oaks all down through here. Now, the loggers must have pushed some of this over and kind of got it out of his kind of like little pasture opening here. And then I walked the field line, Jeremiah, I walked the field line over here, the fence row or line fence, I guess, whatever you want to call it. But over here, I walked that, but there is, right here behind me, you see these leaves, there's another bunch of good white oak tops right in there. So I've been yapping quite enough. As you can tell, I'm excited to have this opportunity. So let's do a little cutting. Some ducks, but they don't like me being here. We're gonna make a little noise, do a little cutting, and then as the ground dries out, as it warms up, we're gonna be bringing the dump trailer over here. And I got something else coming to the channel that's gonna make this a little easier, so stay tuned for that in upcoming videos. But right now, let's cut a load of oak. guys, plenty solid. As you can see, the bark is falling off of some of it here. As I expected, bark coming off of there. Solid all the way down, and I don't know if you noticed my last cut, if it was in frame, but we get right about here, and that's where the rot started. So that's gonna be it for this log. There's plenty more. There's a limb coming off right down there that probably let water in there, but let's get this here loaded up, see how much room we got, and go from there. Let's speed this up. All right, guys, I'm getting down to the bigger rounds that are getting heavier, and I thought of something here. There's a great big misconception on standing dead trees. A lot of people think you can cut them and they're ready to burn. Well, especially with oak, I do not believe that at all. I've cut oak trees that were at the farm that have already shed their bark and that sap layer on the outside, and split them open. They were still running high 40s after years of standing there. Now granted, this one was on the ground. I could tell these rounds are a lot lighter, but I've got an axe over here, right here. I'm gonna try to bust one of these open, and we'll just stick the moisture meter on it and get a reading, because these are getting heavy anyway, and I'm gonna see if I can pop them in half. We'll see if I've got enough energy here. I'm gonna assume, I mean, you guys can hear it's solid. There is a little bit of the outside, but it's actually still solid. Pop corner of this off or something and just see what it's running. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but that fat wood right down the middle, still hard, but you can see that red color there. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. So let's get a moisture meter reading on that real quick. See if I can get you guys in closer here. Got my top test that was sent to me. Really like this meter. I run everything on B. Just as I expected. Hopefully I can get this to pick up. It's bouncing between 39.5 and 40.1. So, that just goes to show you cannot cut a dead standing tree down and think it's ready to burn. Or at least I'm not gonna do it. Now that this has been cut and split, it will dry a lot faster since the bark is off of it, but it's still gonna take a little time. That one's a tough one. Right before the crotch. Man, this is gonna make beautiful wood. Barkless bundle grade right there. All right, I'm gonna get this split up and loaded up. Bring you back. Well, I split a couple more of those last few rounds up there, guys, and ran into a little bit of pithiness in the middle, so with the amount of wood that's laying here, it's not worth it. I'm gonna leave the rest of that. We're gonna get this thrown in here real quick, and I wanna run down here where we was before and cut into a couple of those white oak tops. This tree was a standing dead tree, so it was rotting as it was standing. But I wanna go down there and get a test sample of some of that. We'll see what the moisture is on it and wrap this video up before I run out of battery. It was cold, and electronics and cold don't go together. My battery dies, I got a couple of hunks cut off of this white oak, and guys, you can't see it, the battery's about to go dead, but there is so much red oak logs underneath there that are about this size here and this size, treetops. It's going to be amazing when I get in here and sort this out, but for right now I'm going to attempt to split this white oak. We're going to get a moisture meter reading on it, and I expect it to be even more than 40. We'll see. Bark's falling right off. White oak is definitely harder to split. Get us a piece here. Hopefully it fools me. And that's a good thing, it did. This white oak, oops, can you see that? Hopefully you can see that, is down to 28%. That is awesome. So a lot of these logs that have been cut now for 2 years, as long as they're up off the ground, there's going to be no rot like I ran into on that first one. And this is going to be good. So guys, that's going to do it for this video. Stay tuned for more stuff from over here. This is going to be a long process, but I tell you what is great about it being so close to my house. When I've got an hour, with it being 3.5 miles away or so, run over here. If I don't want to hook the trailer up, just cut a truckload. But for now, I'm going to get out of here so the sun doesn't hit this ground and I leave sloppy, muddy ruts, because that's the last thing I want to do, getting access to something like this. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. Stay tuned for next time. Until next time, even if you've only got an hour, get outside. We'll see you.